Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has this game ready.
Let's go!
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange Store. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Bronco Nation? Welcome on into another live edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at bronconationnews.com. My name is BJ Rains, coming to you from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Make sure you get one of the Sun Cruiser vodka iced teas, lemonade iced teas, strawberry lemonades, all kinds of various flavors and options. Sun Cruiser. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser. Our title sponsor, as always, rowpaint.com, ROEpaint.com. I'm a little out of breath. I was getting ready for the show and heard him say, let's go to the Sun Cruiser Studios, and I wasn't even in the room. So I'm going to catch my breath for a second here. But we're back. It's New Year's Eve, final show of 2025. And we got some cool announcements that are coming today, tomorrow, and got a good, fun show for you. Winston Venable going to join us. We're going to talk football. We're going to talk basketball after the game last night. A lot to get to, a lot to discuss here on Bronco Nation News. Again, the Broncos get the win over New Mexico last night. Nice win. And now the Broncos get ready to go to Viejas Arena and take on San Diego State. We got a lot to get to on today's show. I mentioned Winston Venable is going to join us. We want your comments. We want your thoughts. As Boise State 1-1 in conference play. The Broncos getting it done against New Mexico. And the freshmen were impressive. The bench was impressive. A lot of things to discuss and like from that game. Nathan Carroll's got 4 takeaways. By the way, hopefully we sound okay, look okay. We're working on about 4 hours of sleep here. By the time we got off the post-game show, it was 1:20 in the morning, and I had to get the videos uploaded, had to get Nathan's story edited, get everything done on the site, and we were going to bed well after 3 in the morning last night. And here we are 6 hours later on Bronco Nation News Live. UNM is not good. The verdict's out on that a little bit. One of their starters didn't play. They obviously shot terrible from the field, but I think that they've got some nice wins. They got some nice metrics. I'm not saying this was, Boise State's best win of the season or something, but I don't think they're some terrible team. They're still, top 70 in a lot of the metrics, and that was a quad 2 win last night for Boise State. So, they didn't play great, but I thought, they have a win over VCU, which was a huge road win for them. They've beaten Santa Clara. They've beaten Mississippi State. So, and they're not going to lose a lot of games at the Pit this season. So, we'll track New Mexico as the season goes on. But overall, I thought it was a nice win for Boise State. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today. We got Deborah Grant. Good morning to you. Our friend D-Ray down in sunny but cool Florida. Appreciate you for chiming in. Guys, exhausted. Yeah, we all are. But it's New Year's Eve, and New Year's coming, and a lot of great things ahead. So, that was a quick turnaround from last night. And I will say, I'm the first one to kind of criticize the fans at times and, get on them for not showing up and the students and all that. But I was pleasantly surprised. And Leon Rice said it too. You're going to hear it in the clip we're going to play in a minute. But I thought that the crowd was pretty good for a 9 p.m. start. I mean, I know there were some New Mexico fans that wanted to get in there last night and say the crowd was rough and where are all the fans at and students at. And students were on winter break. That's understandable. So that part wasn't full. But I actually thought for a 9-10 start time on a Tuesday night, we'll see if Grand Canyon's the same. I mean, if Boise State can go win at San Diego State, maybe that helps get some momentum going for next Wednesday, another 9 p.m. start, once school's back in session. But I actually thought the crowd last night for how late the game was pretty good. So game doesn't start till 9:10, didn't end till 11:15 or whatever time it was. But, kudos to the crowd. I thought they stepped up, and it was a pretty good crowd. And as Hunter said, the ones that wanted to be there showed up, and they were loud too. That was in the second half. I thought by far the loudest Extra Mile Arena has been all season. So that place can be special, man. When it's loud and it's rocking and it's full. I've been to every Mountain West venue, and I've been to a lot of Big 12 venues and venues across the country covering college basketball or going as a fan. And Viejas Arena, the Pit, some of these arenas are, Boise State's just as loud, if not louder, when that place is rocking. And it's not rocking enough. It's not full enough. It's not loud enough as it could be. But it can be Extra Mile Arena can be a very tough place to play for opponents. You just look at Leon Rice's home record in there. And it's very impressive when Boise State, at home, when that crowd is rocking and full. And even last night, it wasn't full. And I don't know if I'd say it was rocking, but it was pretty loud, and it was louder than I thought it would be. And it was fuller than I thought it'd be. So hats off to those of you that showed up and stayed throughout the game. And in the second half there, didn't start out great. I mean, neither half started out great. Boise State started down 8-0, I believe it was, in the first half. Started 0 for 11 from the field. And then second half, they gave up an 11-0 run in barely 2 minutes. And so they're outscored, was it 19-0 in the first, couple minutes of each half? But both times Boise State responded, and they're in the second half. It did not look good when they're down, I think it was 11 pretty early on in the second half. Leon calls timeout, makes some changes to the lineup. bench guys come in and really sparked it. Spencer Aarons, somebody commented on him in the chat a little higher up. I thought he was huge for a freshman. He was our Matt Boucher player of the game last night. BoucherRealEstate.com, all your real estate needs. Matt Boucher, Boucher Real Estate. Spencer Aarons, our Boucher Real Estate player of the game. He was balling last night, 8 rebounds on top of it. Yeah, I mean, that's why, a season is a really long season. And it's a long season where some games it's one guy, some games it's another guy. And that's why these coaches, like, frankly, just know a lot more than us. And there's a reason they get paid what they do, and there's a reason they do what they do. It's very easy to say this guy should be starting, this guy should be playing, and we're not at practice. We don't see stuff like that coming. And I think a lot of people saw Spencer Aarons very early in the season, and we're excited about him, and he hasn't played as much maybe in some of these games, but he had some confidence last night, and he hit a couple of threes, and I thought he was very impressive, Spencer Aarons, last night, and he fueled that run with like 7 straight points. Hunter saying Spencer Aarons might crack the starting 5. Him or Peanut probably should. I'm not quite sure if Leon's ready to kind of go to those drastic measures, but you certainly could make an argument for it. Is a Spencer, the problem with Spencer is, him and Buchanan play the same spot, and I think Buchanan needs to be starting. Buchanan's one of your best players. He needs to be out there, and Leon does like having that kind of spark off the bench. So I think Spencer is one that certainly is perfectly fine as a 6th or 7th man. Maybe needs to get more playing time, get moved up the depth chart. Maybe he's your first man off the bench, with NATO, not, your 3rd or 4th. So I'm okay with that. You could make an argument for Peanut Carmichael starting over Keene. I mean, yeah, you could. But I still think Keene provides a lot of intangibles for you and has won you a lot of games. Last night wasn't his best game stats-wise, but had a big block that fueled the bucket, and I still think Keene's valuable. So regardless, one of the biggest criticisms that Leon Rice gets is his bench, not using his bench over the years. But I think you look at the way that he's starting to, put some of these minutes last night. Andrews 29. We can discuss if that's too many. Meadow 22, Fielder 21, Buchanan 20, NATO 25, Carmichael 30, Aarons 21, Parolin 19, Keene 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys get at least 13 minutes. 8 guys get at least 19 minutes in a conference game. I'll have to look, but I don't think there's too many games the last couple of years where 8 guys are getting at least 19 minutes in a conference game. So the depth of the team is certainly starting to show. And that was something that, like I said, Leon's been criticized in the past, but right now he's got 8 guys, 9 guys that deserve to play a lot of minutes, and he's sharing the minutes. And I think you're going to have a team that's fresher down the stretch. Again, 30 minutes for Carmichael was the most on the team. 30 minutes. When was the last time Boise State's leading minutes guy in a conference game only played 30 minutes? Tyson Degenhart, Cardenas, you go back, these guys were playing 37, 38 minutes. Max Rice, 40 minutes, 39 minutes. Like, they didn't rest very much. And when you're leading guys only getting 30 minutes, I think that's a huge deal and going to pay off down the road. And all these guys deserve to play right now. The Dylan Andrews experience, he's a liability at this point. Doesn't look to run the offense. Just hunts his own shot, throws up bricks. A lot of jump shots, a lot of fadeaways. I still think you can't give up on him. I still think he's got a lot of talent. They just need to continue to find ways to mold him into the offense and do what's best. And I think what's best for him is driving to the lane and getting to the free throw line, not settling for 18-foot jump shots. Although he hit one of the biggest shots of the game last night. He was like 0 for 6 from the field and then hits a huge 3 from the wing to put Boise State, I think to extend their lead to like the largest of the game at one point, like 50-42 or something like that. It was a huge 3 there in the second half. But NATO's fun to watch. True spark plug, as Bob said it. Yeah, can't disagree with you on that one. He was very impressive to watch last night. We went, over an hour in terms of our post-game show last night. We had Abe Jackson on. We had Jeff Grammer on. Heard from Leon, heard from the players. So if you want, kind of some really, really in the weeds, detailed thoughts on this game, when we're done here, go back and watch the post-game show. Over an hour talking nothing but Boise State basketball here. But, the next, game is going to be tough. This next stretch is going to be tough. And you had to win last night. They weren't going to come out and say must win in December. I understand that. A lot of games, a lot of important games coming up. But you didn't want to fall to 0-2, having to go to Viejas Arena on Saturday. So to get the win, as ugly as it was, as ugly as you shot, that's now 3 games this season where Boise State scored 62 points and won. So they're starting to show you they can win those low-scoring slugfest, rock fights, which you're going to probably be in another one of those Saturday at San Diego State. And if your defense can win you games, that's a trait you want to have. Boise State's defense is up to number 20 at KenPom, and the 3 years they made the NCAA tournament, 22, 23, 24, they were top 30 in the country in defensive efficiency. Last year, they slipped to 70 in defensive efficiency at KenPom. They don't make the tournament. So Mike Burns has kind of circled that top 30 number. If you can get in the top 30, you're going to be in contention and be right there to get in the NCAA tournament. And right now, Boise State has an NCAA tournament caliber defense, number 20 in the country. Yeah, New Mexico missed some bunnies. New Mexico missed some easy shots. New Mexico shot terribly last night. But I thought that some of that was Boise State's defense deserving a little bit of credit for coming in there and playing really well. Especially in the second half, when they were building that lead a little bit. Nothing was easy last night for New Mexico. All the switching with the wings out at the top of the key just makes it really tough for teams to get a lot of open looks. And Boise State's defense looks pretty good right now. And the result is Boise State winning 62-53. The Broncos up to number 43 in the net rankings. That's notable. They're up to number 52 at KenPom. And you look at this next stretch at San Diego State on Saturday, and then Grand Canyon and Utah State at home next week before you go to UNLV, Colorado State at home, and then you get Wyoming, Air Force, San Jose. So a really important kind of next 3-week stretch here. And the next, 10 days when you got San Diego State, Grand Canyon, and Utah State. I said on yesterday's show, 2-2 is kind of what you have to go. You'd probably be, okay, I guess, at 2-2 in these 4. But if you could find a way to go 3-1 and even 4-0, but certainly 3-1 in the 4-game stretch of New Mexico, San Diego State, Grand Canyon, Utah State, you'd feel pretty good at going 3-1 when you have a home game against Utah State, New Mexico, a road game against San Diego State in there, and they get the first one against New Mexico. So now you just you're 1-0, and now you just need to find a way to go 2-1. Can you find a way to go 2-1? Can you get either Utah State or San Diego State? If you can get one of those two, ideally probably at San Diego State, just because of the quad one and the road win. If you can find a way to go to San Diego State and win, that'd be huge. The New Mexico home game, you'd love to win as well. But if you can find a way to get one of San Diego State or Utah State and then also beat Grand Canyon, I think you'd call that a pretty good start, 3-1 coming out of the Christmas break here. So really nice win for Boise State. And we are going to talk football with Winston Venable in a minute here, but I wanted to play a short soundbite from Leon Rice. Leon Rice, now the all-time winningest coach in Mountain West basketball history. Leon Rice, 169th career win last night in the regular season in Mountain West play. Part of it's longevity, I get it, but part of it is the consistency. And the regular season, Boise State is traditionally right there in that 3rd, 4th spot in the conference. And I know sometimes, people want to get on him for the lack of success in March. And I said this last night on the postgame show. Sure, they haven't played great in March. They don't have an NCAA tournament win. It's a lot of randomness in a single elimination tournament, whether it's the conference tournament or the NCAA tournament and matchups. And the easy thing is just to rip on him for all of that, and I get that. But overall, you look at the last 16 years, whatever it's been with him at the helm, you're going to get a competitive team. You're going to get a fun team to watch. You're going to get a team that's going to be in the mix and have a chance in a lot of games this season. And I think that, that was a huge, huge accomplishment last night. You think of all the coaches in this league, and I know some of them have left and come back, and Steve Alford and Steve Fisher, and now you look at what Patino and Medved both moving on. I mean, it's pretty rare to have a coach that stays this long but is this successful at a Mountain West program. Leon Rice, here he is on the becoming the all-time winningest coach in the Mountain West.
And that's what it means to me, is what you just said. That's why it means something, and a lot, because of the respect I have I know this league in and out, and I know the great coaches that have been here, and I know who I just passed. Steve Fisher, Hall of Fame, Naismith Hall of Fame kind of coach. I mean, the stuff he's did in his career, and the respect I had for what he did, and a lot of other great coaches that have been in this league. So, I mean, when we moved from the WAC to the Mountain, I was pretty sure we wouldn't win one game in this league. And so the persistence that it takes to just keep grinding keep trying to get your program better and better and better to have that. It's pretty special because of the respect I have for this league and the coaches that have been in it before me and how hard it is to do in this league.
I feel like you know the number. Well, you can hear the full Leon Rice clip. He talks more about that. I have it on the YouTube channel at BroncoNationNews.com. And again, big time accomplishment. And yeah, when they came in this league, he's like, I don't know if we're ever going to win a game. And now you fast forward 15, 16 years, he's the all-time winningest coach in Mountain West basketball history. So as the Broncos get set and all the football success and taking 3 straight, conference championships on the way out the door in football, now Leon Rice overtakes the all-time Mountain West winningest coach for Boise State on the way out the door to the Pac-12 here next year. So big-time win last night. Wasn't the prettiest win at times, but overall, 9-point win. Nice win, 1-1 in conference, and they'll get ready for San Diego State on Saturday. We'll have full look-ahead and coverage of that. We will have full shows tomorrow. Johnny Ballgame on New Year's Day still wants to do a show, so we'll do a show tomorrow morning talking college football playoff and all that good stuff. And then Friday, we'll be live from San Diego. Bronco Nation News, of course, other than Bob and Abe on the radio side, we'll be the only local outlet traveling to San Diego to provide you pregame, postgame coverage from Viejas Arena, not from our couch. And we're proud that Bronco Nation News invests in that. And it's because of your support of our sponsors and your subscriptions and your support of Bronco Nation News that allows us to go on the road and give you the coverage and the live interviews and things from these games. So we will be live in San Diego for Friday's show, live in San Diego for the pregame, postgame show on Saturday. And so you can make sure to check out and plan to watch those on Saturday night. 8 p.m. start time Saturday in San Diego. That'll be a 7 o'clock pregame show, Mountain Time. 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Make plans to join us for the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News. All right, let's talk some football. Transfer portal news. College football playoff kicks off tonight. Our man Winston Venable going to join us in just a second to do that. But Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor, we appreciate Sun Cruiser. Low carb, low calorie, tremendous iced tea vodkas, lemonade vodkas, multiple options, flavors. Love the strawberry lemonade option. Sun Cruiser, available at your local gas station or grocery store. Check them out. Highly recommend them, even if you're not a huge iced tea fan. The lemonade iced tea, the peach iced tea, raspberry iced tea, tremendous flavors. Highly recommend it. And we're excited about our studio sponsorship in 2026 with Sun Cruiser. RoePaint.com, ROEPaint.com, our title sponsor since day one of Bronco Nation News. Andy Rowe and Company. You can get 20% off your winter painting projects at RoePaint.com. I got some more stuff I want to tell you about RoePaint.com a little bit later in the show. We got a couple announcements to make and things I want to, kind of spend a minute or two talking about. So we're going to talk to Winston to get some football talk, but then stay with me a little later in the show as we make a couple announcements and get some housekeeping stuff done before the new year starts tomorrow. So RoePaint.com, check them out, ROEPaint.com. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, they got Pearson Carmichael on board. They also have Natalie Pasco on the women's basketball team as well. NIL deals, they're now back on board as a sponsor at Boise State with Learfield. So Idaho Central Credit Union, make the switch today. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. There's a branch, like I said, on every corner, but you can go in there, sign up, and you never really got to go back. Everything can be done from your phone, from your computer. So easy to use. So happy that we made the switch to ICCU, and you can as well at ICCU.com. Hey, Jackson's wants to remind you that they have their 99-cent Let's Go Rewards coffee or hot chocolate, 99 cents at Jackson's, and they're starting a new promotion now, 75 cents for any size fountain drink when the Broncos score 75 points or more. So that starts here in January. Road game, home game, doesn't matter. The Broncos score 75 points. You get a 75-cent soft drink 2 days later at Jackson's when the Broncos score. So if they scored on Saturday against San Diego State, you can go in on Monday and get a 75-cent fountain drink from our friends at Jackson's. Hey, Lithia Ford of Boise, LithiaFordBoise.com. And their new 2025s are available because they got to get them off the lot to make room for the 26s. So if you want some great deals right now, what a time to be looking for a new vehicle. F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Mach-E's, Lightning, Transit Vans, 0% APR for 60 months plus 0 down from our friends at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online at LithiaFordBoise.com. All right, I mentioned the college football playoff gets underway tonight. We got 3 games tomorrow. We got the transfer portal. Of course, Winston Venable's in his office working on New Year's Eve. Never an off day for Winston. We appreciate you, man, for jumping on. Sorry we're a little bit late getting to you, recapping the basketball game last night. But Winston, Been a fun 2025. I know we're looking forward to 2026, but appreciate you hopping on, man. How we doing?
Good, man. But people don't work on New Year's Eve, BJ, or what, man? The streets were kind of quiet out there. I was like, man, why am I going into the office today?
I feel like it's a half day type of thing. I mean, in the morning, you would at least most people. I mean, maybe if you have the extra vacation time. This was one of those weird years where Christmas and New Year's are on a Thursday. So I think a lot of people take the Friday off instead, the 26th or the 2nd. So maybe you save today when you normally wouldn't have, so you can get Friday off. We got good viewership, so I don't know if people are working at the moment. They're all watching us, but it is kind of a weird.
Yeah, if they're not working, they're at home getting a little BNN action. All good here on this Wednesday morning. We're kicking this thing off, man.
It's kind of like Christmas Eve too. I felt like Christmas Eve this year was just a little. Typically, a lot of people will take that off, but because of the 26th being on a Friday, I feel like more people might have been working at least part of Christmas Eve because it's not technically a holiday or anything or a federal holiday. A lot of people have to work Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, but we'll rein in the new year with some college football playoff tonight. We got 3 games tomorrow, and this was the game 1 year ago. Somebody put it in the chat, Winston. 1 year ago tonight, Boise State was playing Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl, and we're waking up in Phoenix today, getting ready for the Fiesta Bowl, and it's crazy. It's been 1 year exactly. And I know it wasn't the year that, a lot of fans wanted, not getting back to the playoff and all that, but still a conference championship, still getting 9 wins. And I know with that portal opening here in about 48 hours that coaches are hard at work to try to find a way to get back to the playoff here next year.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, first of all, I love some of these comments in here. My man Cheese off all week. More power to you. I love that. And then we got another one, ain't no days off in healthcare. Shout out to the people in healthcare taking care of everybody. So 2 different ends of the spectrum here. I think I'm right in the middle. BJ, I think I'm going to crush some work this morning. Got a little meeting this afternoon. But yeah, BJ, I mean, Fiesta Bowl, man, that was great that the program got there last year. Definitely not the way that they wanted to finish the season. And, not the way they wanted to finish this season this year. So when you get back into the weeds of it, back in the trenches, if you will, back on the drawing board. And I've said it before, roster management is something that coaches, that has totally amped up their responsibilities now with all the turnover and transfer portal that you mentioned. There's a lot of kids available. There's money involved now, and you got to manage your roster like you never have before. And that's a challenge for a lot of these coaches. It's a challenge for a lot of athletic departments on how they're dispersing, some of this revenue share and where money goes into what particular department, football, basketball, baseball, and obviously those entities can produce their own money. But man, it's a challenging time these days. Challenging time for players too. And man, there's so many kids in the portal. It scares me, man. It scares me, dude.
14 of them from Boise State from last year's roster. Now you did have, a couple like Breezy Dubar announced their transfer in the middle of the season. Devon Banks was kicked off the team, things like that. But if you just look at the players from last year's roster, there are 14 now in the transfer portal. Obviously, Ty Benefield, the biggest one, Winston. And if you were making a list, which a lot of people did, and we were doing on this show, the last couple of weeks, like who are the 3, 4, 5 players you got to find a way to keep? Ty Benefield certainly was near the top of that list. And most of the guys on the 14, I mean, Hall Schmidt started 12 games last year, couldn't stay healthy. He was a guy that has some starting experience, but a lot of these guys are younger guys that, a couple of them, Greg Ard, the running back, Cam Jones, the receiver that you had some high hopes for. And I think we've talked about them on this show a little bit, but I mean, hadn't really, I don't want to say it's not a loss because you brought them in, you expected them to at some point, be contributors here, but in terms of not doing much or not playing at all last year, you're not, you haven't seen it yet on the field. So there's a couple of young guys like that you were excited about. They leave. So that's a little disappointing. But in terms of like proven on-field talent that have been, impact players in games, Ty Benefield's, the clear, obvious one. I mentioned Hall Schmidt, but there hasn't been a lot. It's not like you've lost, 8 starters to the portal or something. And so what's your take just on where Boise State is at, the 14? Obviously, losing Benefield was a big one.
Yeah.
Hall Schmidt. There's a couple other guys, like I said, that have played a little, but obviously Benefield, man, that was the big one that I think kind of rubbed fans the wrong way a little bit, and kind of was one of those wake up calls that just culture and Spencer Danielson, and like you can't keep everybody. Ashton Genty was not the norm. And some of these guys that have stayed in previous years, the Jaden Virgin Morgans, the Cage Caseys, Feely leaving and coming back. Like it's rare for that to happen. And it finally, for the first time, I think kind of hit Boise State in a big way here.
Yeah. I don't think that that's really going to change a whole lot. I think, we hear a lot about retention and all that. And I think that's obviously the main goal or one of the main goals in being able to keep a guy like Ty Benefield back, get him back for his, final year here as a Bronco. But I don't see this kind of being the norm, moving forward. There might be the one or two guys that a star that you weren't able to retain. And then, like you said, there's a couple, I don't want to say more unproven players, but you never even know some of those conversations, BJ, where, and it's really tough. I don't believe in it or like it, but there's real conversations that have to go down as far as a kid's future. And I think some of these kids are probably leaving on their own, and they understand after a couple conversations that might be best for them. And they also might be getting the nudge a little bit too, from the coaching staff saying, hey, we like you. We brought you here. Haven't necessarily developed the way that we would like you to. And, there's not going to be an opportunity for you to play here. It may be best for you to transfer. So, I mean, not all these kids, I don't even think are doing it completely on their own. There is the idea of getting cut these days, which stinks, but you have to be able to manage this roster, like I said, and it's a challenge. So I'm sure we have a handful of guys that are out on their own will, and then a handful of guys that are being nudged a little bit too. Going back to the point of them being probably some unproven players or some players that, the coaching staff doesn't think is going to develop here and have an impact on the team.
A couple things off that, Winston. So Boise State's NIL budget, it's been, reported different out there, whatever. I mean, it's somewhere I believe to be somewhere in the $5 to $6 million range. You may know better than me. They've talked about how they're trying to raise that up. And Spencer Danielson did say it'll be higher this year than last year, but they've never really gotten into specific numbers. I know when South Florida's came out before the game last year that they were like $5-6 million. Somebody at Boise State told me they were competitive in that range. So we don't know the exact number, and that obviously makes it tough. But the whole Moneyball approach, and I know some Mountain West basketball teams have kind of talked about that. But hey, we got this much money. We got to find guys that don't necessarily command the money, but when you look at some of the analytics and some of the stats are right there, and you get more value for your money and things like that. And you say, okay, if we're giving this much money to this guy, we've only got this much money left for this guy. And, everybody wants to go get another quarterback. And it's like, well, that's why it's not happening, because you don't have any more money to spend on quarterback when you have to get a tackle and a linebacker and this and that. And we see some of these prices right now in the portal, Winston, what it takes to get a starting caliber type player. I mean, when Ty Benefield says, hey, man, I can get $750 somewhere else, and that's 20% of Boise State's NIL budget, there's like not much they can do. They can say, good luck to you. Go get that somewhere else. So,
I mean, they could, and I think like Danielson hit it, man. Like, obviously Genty had had his decision and it worked out. And, he was facing the idea of getting injured, and could that not necessarily injured, because he ended up leaving his junior year. But I guess what I'm saying is everybody's got their own personal situation, their personal, assessment on what's going on. And some guys, like the point that I was trying to make was Coach Danielson said it right. I think Ty Benefield could have done everything he wanted at Boise State and still got the outcome in the long run as far as his dreams and aspirations of playing at the next level. But like you just said, throw in some game-changing money, and guys have to assess that, right? And it could be $300-something thousand at Boise State versus $700-something at a different school, and a school with great opportunity, with more exposure and a bigger conference and a bigger stage to then go accomplish your goal. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought when I started there, but there's just a lot that these kids are navigating. Some value that money on the front end rather than the back end. I mean, there's just, who knows what some of these guys' personal situations are.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but I mean, when you're Spencer Danielson, you got to make a decision here. Like you said, like you'd love to have a Ty Benefield, but when you're a Boise State, Winston, like you can't give 20% of your NIL budget to one player. Like
you can't do it.
I mean, they're in a tough spot here, and they're in an even tougher spot when you look at they've got to go. Everyone wants them to go add, and they've got some key positions where you'd like to add guys, but you're not finding. They're going to either. I mean, I guess it's FCS players. I guess it's backup players like that were. You have to find guys where it's not about the money, and that's hard to do right now. And they're going to have to really dive in and find some guys that just want an opportunity to play and want to be here, and it's not about the money. Because if it's about the money, Boise State's going to lose out on pretty much every recruit they try to go get. Oh, you're muted, Winston. Something happened there. What happened? What'd you do? Not sure what happened, Winston. Maybe. Nope. Don't hear you. I'm going to thank a few sponsors. Maybe come out and come back in. I'm not sure what happened, if something changed or died on you there. But Matt Boucher Real Estate. We'll get Winston back here momentarily. Matt Boucher and Boucher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Boucher and Boucher Real Estate. Check them out online at BoucherRealEstate.com. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out online at thespateam.com, whether it's a sauna, pool table, hot tub, they got you covered online. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game. Hey, our friends at Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Remind you to visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location. Try their new crispy chicken strips, maybe their breakfast quesadilla, all the great options at Taco Bell. Treasure Valley Taco Bell location, that is. And the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, they're putting up free tacos anytime the Broncos score 83 points. If you have a ticket stub, the next day you can take it to Taco Bell on a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location and get a free taco from the Nicolason family and SON Management. So 75 points gets you the soda from Jackson's, and 83 points gets you a taco from Taco Bell. And that's a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location. Get more information about their locations in the Treasure Valley at TacoBellWorks.com. Hey, saw Travis Hawks at the game last night. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com, now with 2 locations. The Boise State location there at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame. They've got the kiosks at Extra Mile Arena now is the official in-venue provider of Boise State gear. And then obviously the OG location there at the Boise State or the Boise Town Square Mall. Over 14,000 hats, I think Travis Hawks said yesterday that they have there at the location at the Boise Town Square Mall. So the best gear, the best selection, the best prices. Check out our friends at the Blue and Orange Store online at theblueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 locations in the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Saw the Ridleys last night courtside. Download the Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Love that CUNA location. Just love going into a Ridley's. You don't get the corporate BS, the big, huge store where you don't know where everything's at. Friendly staff greets you at the door. Just love going to Ridley's. So Ridley's Family Markets. Check them out online at shopridleys.com. Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. And again, talking football with Winston Venable. He'll rejoin us here momentarily. But if you're looking for a new job, fresh start, career change, check out Transportation Compliance Service. Local company helping out folks all over the world with the DOT, overweight, all the permits and things. You want to get into the trucking industry, you can do that at Transportation Compliance Service online, transcomservice.com. Can we hear you, Winston Venable?
I think so.
What happened?
I don't know, man. I think I touched a button. I was trying to get my words right.
All right. Well, we were talking portal and Moneyball, and Boise State has some positions of need, Winston Venable. They could really use a starting caliber offensive lineman. They could really use a starting caliber player in the secondary. You could go to wide receiver, linebacker. I mean, you could obviously take somebody across the board, but there's 3 or 4 like impact players they could really use on next year's team, but they're going to have a tough time if it's all about the money finding these guys. So how does Spencer Danielson and this coaching staff in this era, they've talked a lot about roster retention and using the money they have on the players they have. If that's the case, great. Even if they do have a little money to spend, it's not going to be as much or even close to it as what some other schools out there can offer. How does that work in terms of trying to fix some needs with not really able to financially compete with some of these schools or have much money to offer here?
Yeah, I think that's the big challenge. Like you said, BJ, I mean, this is the money game, unfortunately. And I think Spencer Danielson and the staff over there and the administration have done, a good job on, and I'm not sitting in those recruiting rooms, obviously, but you can hear it in press conferences and whatnot, just development, guys that want to be here, right? And I think, Coach Danielson's probably doing the best job he can to sell guys on, how much love gets poured into each player from the staff and the community and playing on the blue and the winning tradition and all those other things that Boise State had a challenge, had to face the challenge of even when the program was getting built, because we never had the fanciest facilities. We never had the high-ranking players. So we had to do what we've said. We had to do more with less. And it's the same idea now. We don't have the financial resources. We have great stadium. We have great, facilities now. Those things have changed. So the flash and the bling, if you will, on a recruiting visit, it's all there. Now, like we've talked about, that financial compensation is not there, which is going to be really, really tough. And as much as I love Boise State and the Broncos and the coaching staff, there's a lot of good coaching staffs out there. There's a lot of good programs out there. There's a lot of good facilities out there. So this extra box on the financial piece, it's going to be tough. So you just gotta try to sell guys on, if they have dreams and aspirations to go to the NFL, that this program can develop you the best way possible to do that. And they have the stories to be able to tell and the examples to be able to pull from guys that have done that in this era, Ashton Genty, a couple other guys, over the last few years here. So it's a challenge, BJ. That's what they're facing. There's local kids, right? I mean, I won't say names specifically, but there's a couple local kids that we're not able to get. But you look at where they're going, there's a kid going to Oregon. There's a kid going to BYU. You'd really want to sink our claws into these local guys. But I can tell you this, BYU's got a 20-point-something million budget. Oregon's off the charts, right? So their incoming freshmen are being offered $200,000 just to start, and they haven't even stepped foot on campus yet. So and
that would make them like the top 10 most paid player on the team at Boise State.
Exactly. So that's a lot for a young kid to navigate. Now, some kids, they may have mom and dad, and they might have grown up in a mansion, and they may have some walking around money that mom and dad gave them growing up, and they value money, but they don't need it, right? There may be a kid coming from Idaho, coming from Southern California, coming from wherever, that grows up with grandma and lives in a one-bedroom apartment with 6 of their cousins, and it's like, hey, opportunity to make $0 or $1,000 or $200,000. These are things that are going on and decisions that 17, 18-year-olds have to make. So not everybody's, it's all about the money. This is life, right? So I don't ever get too fired up about a kid making a choice, because they have hard choices to make.
And we've heard numerous times, Winston, where what these kids are hearing in terms of the portal doesn't end up being true, and guys are offered one amount of money, and then they get there and the money's not the same.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've heard that, BJ, and that's like from an agent side or a representation. That's like the worst thing. That's like the worst thing that I could do as an agent, right? Like, hey, BJ, got an opportunity for you for $500,000 at Georgia, but then that opportunity be 300. That's like a really bad look on me.
Well, you don't think it's a coincidence that Ty Benefield announced he's entering the portal, and like a day or two later, he's announced his signing with some new agency that's going to represent him now? Like, those guys, obviously, I mean, you just put 2 and 2 together. Guys are telling kids, hey, get in the portal. We can get you this much. We can get you this much. And more times than not, it's not that much.
Yeah, well, that's just bad biz, man. I mean, I feel bad for those. Feel bad for the players that are being sold that. And I feel like that's just a really bad practice from the agent side, because I would be all about wanting to deliver on that. I'd be wanting to make sure that comes to fruition and not set an expectation. And then, I mean, that's like one of the worst things you can do is tell a kid you have a deal before there's a deal there, and then that deal not show up. From a marketing standpoint, from a contractual standpoint, from a rev share, like that's like bad practice, right? So yes, I saw that Ty Benefield, signed with an agency, and I'm hoping that doesn't necessarily mean to me that some agents in his ear talking about, hey, you should jump in the portal, we can get X amount of money. Hopefully that's somebody that's helping him navigate a process and then go evaluate the different opportunities that he has and assess the opportunities that he has to then go make a best decision for himself. And that's like, for me, where a lot of that representation work comes about. It's less about, for me, it's less about telling a kid, there's all these opportunities, these schools want, need a safety, want a safety for X amount of money. It's like, hey, like, let's look at these 5 schools that are interested in you. Let's break down their secondary. Let's break down their defensive calls, their scheme, the location of the city, what opportunities, why does this place put you in the best fit and best position to accomplish your goals? There's some work that can be done there. Now, not all agents and representation goes about it like that, but the idea that, an agent just wants to tell a player, hey, I can get you this, jump in the portal, and then doesn't execute that, bad look, man. Like, I would never want that as an agent. So I would hope that there's a little bit more going into that. And then at the same time, BJ, I mean, we're talking about it. It all starts somewhere. So I get, and I'm not back in the agent side, but the agent's got to be on the phone with somebody on the other side. So the tampering, all that stuff, like schools need to look at themselves in the mirror and themselves in the face if they're seeking out certain players or coming up with a certain offer. There's multiple players in this game. And I think a lot of it starts with the schools that are willing to have conversations with players or agents about, a need. And that's why we see the portal open up and players are signing right away. So, I mean, this stuff's happening, but a lot of blame goes on the agent side. And I think there's a lot of work and a lot of things that people just have no idea about when it comes to representation and all that.
He's Winston Venable, legendary linebacker at Boise State, assistant coach previously as well. My name is BJ Rains. This is Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. So what would Winston like to see Boise State get in the portal if they magically found some money, or where are some upgrades needed? You can let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat. Where would you guys like to see this roster upgraded when we fast forward to a month from now and the portal's closed and Boise State's added some new players? What do you hope to hear in terms of what Boise State has added? A lot of turnover on this roster. They're losing a lot in the secondary, losing some key players across the board. What's this roster going to look like next year, and where can they upgrade this roster? We will ask that to Winston here in just a minute. We'll take your voicemails on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line, speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox, and we're going to pick up every week. We're going to start giving away gift cards to our sponsors for the best voicemail of the week. Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, you can do that at mysignatureroofing.com. Element Fencing on board in 2026 is a new sponsor. We appreciate Element Fencing and welcome them to the Bronco Nation News family. ElementFencing.com, whether it's decks, pergolas, fences, you name it. You see some of the craftsmanship there on the screen, but just tremendous stuff. Can totally be a game changer for your backyard or front yard or whatever you're looking to do. With the quality of work they can do. It's a local company, family-owned company. Brady, the owner, been great getting to know him. He did a NIL deal with Riley Smith a couple years ago at the bowl game when he was a senior and wanted to get on board this year. He's sponsoring Winston, our defensive player of the game in 2026. We gave it to Pearson Carmichael last night, but certainly through football season, we'll have fun on the post-game shows picking out some defensive player of the games, and we appreciate Element Fencing for jumping on board all your fencing needs. Hit up elementfencing.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on Bronco Nation News. And again, we're appreciative of Element Fencing for their support of Bronco Nation News. All right, Winston, what do you think of this roster right now? Looking ahead to next year here. I mean, the portal opens on Friday. I'm not sure when school starts, but I assume Sunday or Monday or next week sometime. Maybe it's the following week. They'll be back in the next 10 days to 2 weeks, I would assume, at some point here. little bit longer break than usual. Last year they had the Fiesta Bowl, and a week or two later they were right back into class. They get almost a month off here after the early bowl game. But a lot of questions on this roster and this team as they tried to, they move into the Pac-12 here, and they got the first game at Oregon, second, to kick off the season. First home game in week 2 is Memphis. I mean, not the easiest start to the schedule here with trying to, start off the Pac-12 with a bang. But just what's your take on where this roster sits? I mean, Amarion McCoy gone, now Ty Benefield gone, Zion Washington gone.
Jeremiah hit it, BJ. You're hitting it right now. Secondary. That's one of the main things, and sorry to cut you off, but that's it, man. Ty Benefield gone, Zion Washington gone, both corners gone. Yes, there's some guys, Frankie, there's some guys that are developing and some young guys to take over some corner spots. But, that safety position, even going back to Alexander Tubner, leader of the team, Ty Benefield, leader of the team. Man, who's going to step up? Is Marco back? I don't think Marco's back, but if he is, great. If he's not, who are the defensive leaders, right? And it starts with somebody that can really demand it back there from the secondary spot. So I think that my eyes are all over the defense. I always feel like offense is going to kind of figure things out. There's going to be some guys that emerge, and I think receiver is definitely one that you'd want to have a star out there. You'd want to have somebody that can make some big plays. But I think offense, to me, kind of like they'll get it going. They'll figure it out. They'll have the pieces, but my eyes would be wrapped around this defense, man, for sure.
And speaking of my eyes, we're awaiting word on this lawsuit, Winston. Some of these players are trying to get the extra year. I don't remember which one this attaches to, JUCO or the 5-5 or whatever it is. But I know Jeremiah Irby and Braxton Feely both would qualify for another year of eligibility if this lawsuit goes in their direction. I think it's in a Nashville court or something, and has something to do, I believe, off the Pavia thing, and there's another element to this. But I guess technically Jeremiah Irby could theoretically be back next year if something changes. Marion McCoy unexpectedly last year, right around the Fiesta Bowl time, got the extra year and decided to come back. So we'll see on Irby. I'm not counting on that, but you're looking at possibly all 4 starters in the secondary now gone. You mentioned no Triani. You got Bowen Phelps back, Jake Ripp back there at linebacker, but that's another spot where you don't have a ton of depth. And then I mentioned Braxton Feely as of now is gone. You hope to re-sign. I guess that's where we're at in college football now. Re-sign Jaden Virgin Morgan or get him to stay. But, he would be your headliner on defense right now, Jaden Virgin Morgan. I know Max Steege did some nice things on the defensive line as well, but Eric Chenander, man, I know they got some young guys they really do like, and they recruit guys for a reason, and it's next man up, and they're going to be ready. But this defense as a whole could have a much different look to it next year.
Yeah, for sure. You just hit it, man. And the big part about that I'm even as we're talking about, I think it just goes back to the point of that retention and how important that is, because I've talked about it like chemistry. Chemistry is huge for part of the recipe to have successful championship programs, right? And that's you can't necessarily, you can do this, but it serves a better purpose to have guys that have been in the program, that understand the program, that can then lead others, rather than you get some baller transfer safety or linebacker to come in and run the show. It's a lot to be able to do that right away. Even coming from me as like a junior college transfer, it takes some time to get adjusted and acclimated and understand playbook and understand your teammates and how you work as a Bronco. So I just go back to why that's so important. And Coach Danielson always talks about, retention, because you got to be able to have the Jaden Virgin Morgan and the Ty Benefield and a couple of these guys come back to have that nucleus of players. So, yeah, hopefully Jaden Virgin Morgan doesn't go anywhere, and at least he can be that one staple. And you mentioned a couple other names, Max Steege and whatnot, but some of those guys are just still young dudes that, middle linebacker Marco, it's like the dude's been there for a minute, and His word holds a lot of weight, his passion, his energy, his character. So you're missing a lot of pieces on that defensive side for sure. And that goes back to the same point about like Mad Dog, right? Like you got your quarterback, and I know that there's all sorts of quarterback controversy or whatever we want to call it, but you have a guy that's been there. He understands the program. He's a returner. We're not worried about, I don't think, but we're not necessarily worried about him jumping in the portal. And everybody, I think everybody would be, not everybody, but a lot of people would be like, if Mad Dog went into the portal, oh, we're going to get some new star quarterback, Well, dude, I'm telling you, it's hard to come in here in just months and be like the guy and figure it out and go play well. It takes time. So you want a guy like Mad Dog back. You want a guy like Jaden Virgin back as the nucleus of your team and some leadership.
Yeah, no doubt. And quickly, I'm just going to say on the offense, you get Mad Dog back, like you said. I think Greg Ard, the freshman running back entering the portal, signifies that he's led to believe that both Sire Gaines and Dylan Riley are probably returning. And so that would be huge if you get both those running backs back. You get Matt Wagner back at tight end. I know you lose your boy Matt Louder, which is obviously a big loss, but I think they feel good about Wagner and some of the guys there. And then receiver is an area where I think receiver and offensive line, if you had, your magic pot of money or magic, wish that a genie would grant you, where can you find some impact players? Losing Cage Casey, losing a Mason Randolph at center. You do get Roger Carrion back for a year, but you lose a couple key impact starters there on the offensive line. Curious how they attack that. I don't remember when you were on staff, but Cade Beresford was a guy that they went and got out of Washington State and had started a couple games, but hadn't played a ton, was just looking for a chance. And I know his dad played here, which helped with that. But, you need to find a guy like that where he's a backup lineman somewhere else, but is just ready to play and wants an opportunity and doesn't want a ton of money. And if you can find a tackle or a guy or two there on the offensive line, that would be huge. I said I would just go. I know Latrell Caples has said he's done, but he told Riley and Ridge show, in like November, he technically has another year of eligibility somehow. I would just pay Latrell Caples some money and say, hey, man, I know you said you were done. You didn't have the year you wanted to have. Why don't you come back and give this thing one more year and have a monster senior season? I don't think it's going to happen. I've heard no talk of that happening, but that's how I would fix some of the wide receiver problems, is convince Latrell Caples to somehow come back for another year. You do have Ben Ford coming back. They really like some of these young guys on the roster as well, a Quentin Brown, a Cam Bates. So, Chris Marshall, if he comes back, maybe he finally takes that next step. Like, they have some guys there. I don't feel quite as bad about wide receiver as I do as some areas, but offensively, you do have some nice pieces coming back. But with that said, Winston, new wide receivers coach coming in.
I was going to say, you got to get a new coach too.
Some of the topics on this show, and I apologize, folks, are a little redundant because I have a new host every day. So we talk about some of the same topics every day because I want to get Winston's thoughts on the wide receivers coach, and I want to get Jay Tuss' thoughts on the wide receivers coach and Brad Bedell. So yes, weeks like this where football-wise there's not a lot of new info happening, I do kind of hit on the same hits here with the different topics. But Matt Miller well. What do you make of him taking the opportunity with Kirby at Washington State? And I know fans, the drops, Boise State's wide receivers group led the Mountain West in drops this season, up and down, mixed results from the receivers. So I think a lot of fans are like happy for him, but also happy maybe for some new blood at receiver and see if they can get to the next level there. What's kind of your big picture take at Matt Miller leaving? And then what kind of coach, what kind of, do you think they try to, what kind of a candidate do they try to lure in here for the next wide receivers coach?
Yeah, well, I'm super, super happy for Matt. That was a teammate of mine and a colleague of mine. So always fired up when these guys, just progress and continue to climb the ladder in their careers. So Matt put in a lot of time at Boise State as a player and as a coach, poured himself, his heart and passion into the boys. And, he's given a lot to the program. So fired up to see him take the next journey, get that OC title. I know he's called plays before. I'm sure there's going to be some collaboration with that. But like Kirby, it's kind of similar to Coach D. Like at some point you want to be able to be the head coach, right? And I know a lot of head coaches call plays and their coordinators as well. But, I think it gives Matt an opportunity to get that title. And I know he's done it before, and it probably puts him in a position to continue to to even grow to the next phase of his coaching, whether that's, being the sole OC or being a head coach. So I'm happy for him. And yeah, I think his receivers probably underperformed and had some drops, but I've said this before and I say it lightly because I'm all about the players. But players have to step up. They have to execute and they have to go get the job done. I just because I know Matt, I've been around Matt. He's a coach at a high level for a reason. That's because he's a really good coach. He's played the position, which doesn't always translate to meaning you're a good coach, but he knows exactly what it takes to be one of the best on the blue because he was one of the best on the blue. So when it comes to this receiving game, man, I know that he's got a lot to give to that room. He's super smart, just schematically, he's dialed, but then just the intricacies of playing wide receiver. He's one of the better guys out there, man. So I don't think it always translates. Doesn't always translate, man, as far as the production. I think you are an attachment. You are the leader of the group. So yes, there's some reflection on you as a coach, but Matt's a baller.
So what do you
had a down year?
What do you think about what the direction that Spencer Danielson goes to replace him? Is it in the family? Is it outside the family? A lot of people were thinking Eric Keesaw, and then he went to be the OC at Sac State. Davis Cutter's name's coming up. He's a assistant QB coach at South Carolina. Obviously has the Dirk Cutter connection there, but he's maybe a little young, and maybe he's 2 or 3 years away from really being ready for that role. But maybe he's ready now. Maybe they see enough to say give it to him. It'll be cheaper. And use that money to give raises to Chinander or whoever else. I don't know. But is this an inside the family hire? You mentioned last week, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, about Spencer Danielson's coaching tree maybe not being quite as big as some other coaches out there, which does limit him a little bit. Brad Bedell came on Monday and was saying it's James Montgomery's got all kinds of contacts, and Nate Potter has all kinds of contacts, and it's the staff a lot of times that not, especially when it's a defensive head coach that throws names out there and things like that. So we should be looking at those guys' connections as well, and some of Tim Keen's connections and guys like that. But what do you make of the wide receivers for this year? And is that a job that nationally, like, the wide receiver co-OC job at Boise State, like, is that a pretty desirable job, you think?
Oh, man, coaching at BSU? Heck yeah. Dude, come on, man. We got Bronco Nation. We got one of the best places to live in the country. Got one of the most winningest programs in the country. Yeah, there's going to be people lined up at the door trying to get an opportunity to get in front of this staff, man, and share why they're the best fit for this program. So there'll be plenty of that, BJ. Well sought after opportunity. I think a lot of people would be fired up to be a part of the program. And yeah, back to like Brad's point. Yeah, you got to sit and collab around the whole table. I think my point is just that you want to have somebody you're comfortable with. You want to have somebody that you've worked with. Yes, it doesn't have to necessarily be directly with the head coach, but it all starts with, hey, Zach Hill was out in Arizona. They had this GA. He really liked him. Well, the head man's got to really like him too. So that's just the point I was saying as far as the comfortability and having that already dialed in as a head guy. It's one less piece of the process that you have to deal with. But yeah, there's going to be plenty of dudes that get presented. And I don't know, inside the family, outside the family. I don't know. BJ, I don't know what the best route would be. No idea.
Someone's asking what Austin Pettis is doing. You played with him, right?
Oh, AP. Yeah, he's down in SoCal doing some high school coaching and training. And I know he's got his coaching sleeves rolled up. But that'd be cool, man. I'll tell you this, BJ. I don't know Winston for wide receiver coach. Let's go, man.
They're calling for Brad Bedell as wide receivers coach on Monday. So
I did see a comment up there. Somebody had said something about would Winston be interested in the GM role if Boise ever had one in the future. Oh man, and
well, they do have one. It's Brandon Jones.
Yeah. I don't exactly know what his roles and responsibility are. I think it's pretty broad. But heck yeah, man, anything to my ears are always open to BSU. That's for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I got things I'm brewing, but hey, man, I have my ways of trying to impact those athletes over there and be a big part of their lives and help them navigate things. So I can do that in my own way now, but my ears are always open. Anything I can do to give back to that program and be involved.
Well, final thing for you, Winston, our Signature Roofing scoreboard update. 5 bowl games today, including the first college football playoff game tonight. Again, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, make sure you hit up My Signature Roofing for all your roofing needs. mysignatureroofing.com. We appreciate Signature Roofing. And the first bowl game's underway right about now, Winston, so we'll get you out of here after this. So I know you want to watch the RealiQuest Bowl, Iowa and Vanderbilt kicking off right about now, but you got 2 top 25 teams, Raymond James Stadium down there in Tampa, Iowa and Vanderbilt. You got the Sun Bowl with Arizona State and Duke coming up at noon, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Michigan and Texas at 1 o'clock, the Las Vegas Bowl, Nebraska and Utah at 1:30, and then the big one tonight, the first college football quarterfinal game, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, number 10, Miami against number 2, Ohio State. They're in Dallas at 5:30 tonight to kick off New Year's Eve. And then obviously 3 awesome games on tap for tomorrow as well. Tell us about the college football playoff, your thoughts. Again, tomorrow, 10 a.m., by the way, is the Oregon-Texas Tech game. 10 a.m., you get to wake up on New Year's Day, Oregon and Texas Tech. Alabama and Indiana at 2 o'clock. That'll be in the Rose Bowl. That first game was the Orange Bowl, by the way. Oregon and Texas Tech at 10 a.m. You get the Rose Bowl at 2 o'clock, Alabama and Indiana. And then Ole Miss and Georgia, 6 p.m. in the nightcap in the All-State Sugar Bowl. The college football playoff quarterfinals. I know a lot of thoughts, Winston, on next year, what it's going to look like, the expansion, the new system and all this, and what's going to happen. But 4 awesome games coming up over the next 30 hours here.
Oh, man, let's roll, dude. And I think that goes back, BJ, when we mentioned, do people work today? I mean, I just feel like if there's a college football game coming on at 10 o'clock today, that tells you where we all need to be. And that's watching some college ball today and shutting it down. But I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. I like Vanderbilt. I like Texas. I like, I think I like Ohio State later tonight. I do like Texas, although they got rid of my boy PK over there, which is just a silly move.
Yeah, where's he going to end up?
Oh, I mean, I don't know, but I hope he ends up in McCall and shuts it down and just enjoys life. But I don't know. He's a football junkie and he's a wizard. So I'm sure he's going to want to be itching to dial up some plays and some blitzes at some point. But I do like Texas in that game. And then, yeah, man, tomorrow, great day of football. Interested to see what Oregon does. Oregon, Bama, and Georgia. I think those are my picks. But, hey, man, I'm all about it. That'll be a great way to finish 2025, lead right into some 2026. And, yeah, man, let's get after it. It's still football season.
Well, appreciate you as always, Winston. The portal opens on Friday, so by next Wednesday we could have some news and guys come and going. We'll continue to track that here over the next couple of weeks, and plenty of off-season football talk with Winston Venable to go here in January, February, and beyond. So VSG Pro, I know you got a lot of big things cooking.
We got things cooking, BJ.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is signing time, man. Trying to get some NFL prospects in the boat. We do have a couple. I'll shout some of those guys out later. But man, it's a signing time, getting guys ready for the All-Star games and get their pro journey going, man. So super fired up to just continue to help positively impact and influence these guys. It all starts with education at the high school level, teaching these college guys how to be professionals, and then there's a few of them that move on, and we can continue to help them develop into their true professional world. So fired up for this time of year, man.
Bronco Rob's already off to a nice start. He bet on Iowa plus 5.5, and they're already up 7-0. So way to go, Bronco Rob. If they could just end your bet right now, you'd be a winner. So
there we go. I'm about to dial in a little bit to this game.
Appreciate you, Winston. Have a great New Year's Eve. Hope you're safe tonight and tomorrow and everything. And we'll plan to do this next Wednesday and have some more news and coaching staff and portal and everything else to talk about. So appreciate you, Winston. Have a great New Year and appreciate your help with BNN and hope you and your family have had a great Christmas and have a great New Year's here.
Happy New Year, BJ. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me be a part this year, and we'll just get this thing rolling into 2026, man.
And check that Venmo tomorrow, man. Payday. New Year. Get it going right out of the gate, man. Appreciate you.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Winston Venable, always appreciate him. One of the best in the business in terms of his analysis and his thoughts, and was a great player here and did some great things as a coach. And if he ever got back into coaching, I think he'd be a tremendous coach. You can hear him. He's a tremendous motivator and just an all-around great dude. And we're lucky to have him in the BNN family and hope that can continue here in 2026. And so appreciate him and appreciate what he's doing for BNN. All right, couple things I want to get to real quick. Tomorrow is January 1st. We have new contracts, new things for advertisers, things like that. And there's a couple that I want to mention today. We're going to talk about some things today, and then we'll talk about some things tomorrow. We are planning to do a show tomorrow morning on New Year's. Johnny Ballgame wants to do a New Year's Day show, and I said, sure, let's do it. So we will have a New Year's show at 9 a.m. tomorrow to preview the college football playoff, talk about tonight's game. So start your New Year's off with us tomorrow at 9 a.m., and we'll include a couple of cool announcements on there, at least one cool announcement, I guess. First of all, we have a couple changes in sponsorships. The first one I want to mention is Snake River Pool and Spa. They've been with us for about 18 months. That was the terms of our deal, and they're not renewing, and we didn't really discuss renewing with them. It was kind of a one-time 18-month deal. There's no whatever. It's just Snake River Pool and Spa. Today's their final day as a Bronco Nation News sponsor. The contract runs out tonight, and I want to thank Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game for their 18-month sponsorship. TheSpaTeam.com. We've told you about them for the last 18 months. Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa, been around since 1978. We appreciate their willingness to want to do a deal with BNN. We appreciate them for 18 months of a sponsorship. And, one of the things I don't want to do at BNN is clog it up with too many sponsors. So when we look to, maybe add a sponsor, then maybe there's some deals that just, don't get renewed and things. And so part of the shifting is that Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game, their sponsorship ends after tonight. So just wanted to say thank you to Snake River Pool and Spa. This will be the final time you see their ad and hear us talk about them, at least in the short term, but got nothing but good things to say. We have a hot spring spa from Snake River Pool and Spa. My kids love it. My family loves it. I cannot recommend more. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game. Tremendous company, tremendous people. And if you want a game changer for your backyard, back patio, your deck, whatever, go get a hot springs spa from Snake River Pool and Spa. They've also got the, like I said, stuff for your game room, whether it's a dartboard, pool table. They got the saunas, 4 locations. Go check them out. And I just wanted to say thank you to Snake River Pool and Spa. Our kids, of all the trade deals and deals we've done and discounts we've gotten and things we've bought and, relationships with sponsors. And I mean, I think people know how this works. Sometimes when you get a product, there's a discount involved or a trade involved or different things that happen sometimes. But I don't BS when I talk about our sponsors. If I don't like the product, I don't take them on as a sponsor. I've turned sponsors down because I don't like their product, don't like their food, whatever. Didn't know anybody at Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game when I reached out initially. And we were able to, after a while, get a deal done. And it was a tremendous deal. And I'm appreciative of Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game. And like I said, get out there, check out their showrooms, get a hot tub from them, get a sauna, get a pool table. Highly recommend it. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game. We are customers, and we will continue to be customers at Snake River Pool and Spa for a long time. So thank you to Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game for their support of Bronco Nation News. All right. There you go. Sky Ship says we watch BSU games from our Snake River Spa on our patio. That company is great. Yes, they are. Tremendous customer service. We've had our hot tub for about 18 months. And we've had 0 issues with it. It's worked perfect the entire 18 months, and we love it, and we appreciate them. All right, another change that's coming tomorrow, and this is the bigger one, and I do want to take a second here and talk about this, and I know maybe some of this is boring to some of you, but stick with us here, and we appreciate you guys. But Andy Rowe, rowpaint.com. They've been my title sponsor since day one. They sponsored my podcast when I was still at the Idaho Press newspaper. Andy Rowe is a friend of mine. He is one of the best people out there, one of the best persons out there, just a tremendous person, funny guy, awesome guy. One of the biggest BSU fans that you will find is Andy Rowe and RowePaint.com. And there would not be a Bronco Nation News without our title sponsor. You see their, logo up there in the top corner, but I was picking up Chinese food on Eagle Road. The place doesn't even exist anymore. 5 years ago when I was trying to decide if this was going to work with starting Bronco Nation News, and got a phone call in the parking lot from Andy Rowe after thinking about what I had told him. And he said, I'm in. I want to be your title sponsor. Here's the commitment I'm willing to make. And his commitment alone allowed us to push forward, go over the edge of the, and decide we're going to do this. We're going to start Bronco Nation News. So Andy Rowe, RowePaint.com. There would be no BNN without Andy Rowe. I truly mean that. And advertising's tough. I get it. They have a very expensive deal with Boise State. They were doing the studio at KTIK. They've been with us since day one. And I know this was a very tough decision. I had numerous calls with Andy, but his business, the winter months, it's really hard. And they've got a lot of projects on the horizon. But right now for him, just needed to step back, and he's going to stay on board as a sponsor. Just not going to be the title sponsor. And it was a kind of mutual decision. Hey, if somebody else wants to step up and become the title sponsor for a year, let them do it. Let's see what happens. I got some things I want to focus on. Andy Rowe is staying on board as a sponsor, but he is no longer going to be the title sponsor of Bronco Nation News after today. And like I said, this is I can't thank Andy Rowe and the whole RowePaint.com team enough. You're not going to find a better company. You're not going to find better people. You're not going to find better work. They've done numerous projects for us, fixing up drywall, painting, outside, interior painting, touching up siding on the exterior. We had the concrete coatings done twice at our old house on their back patio and in the garage. Unbelievable product. Those concrete coatings, I highly recommend, and all the painting at RowePaint.com. And I'll say this, if you have a project and you're on the fence about it, they need your work, folks. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's tough times in in a lot of industries right now. The painting industry is one of them. And if you've got a project that you're thinking about getting, go reach out to RowePaint.com and get that project done, and thank them for 4+ years as the title sponsor of Bronco Nation News. And if you like these shows and you like what you're seeing, it's a lot of sponsors that make it possible, but it literally wouldn't have started without Andy Rowe and RowePaint.com. And the painting industry is tough right now. And so without getting into too many details and things, it's tough. And so if you're on the fence about that project, get it done. Call RowePaint.com, get that estimate, get that painting project done, whether it's the concrete coating for your garage, your basement, your back patio, whether it's touching up that siding outside that you've always wanted to do, whether it's the painter for a day project just to get a couple walls painted on the interior. Please hit up RowePaint.com and help them out this time of year. Keep their crews busy and help them get through a tough winter here with your painting project. And as I said, thank them for what they've done for Bronco Nation News, because there would be no BNN without RowePaint.com. So I am grateful. My family is grateful. We will always forever be grateful to Andy Rowe and RowePaint.com for taking a chance on us and helping some guy like me that wanted to start his own random YouTube channel and website, and how crazy it sounded at the time. He jumped on board, and that led to other folks jumping on board. And I want to say thank you to Andy Rowe, and I'm happy to see a lot of comments coming in here. Thanks, Andy. Will he still be on the show? Yeah, we'll still get him on whenever he wants to come on. As I said, they are still going to be an advertiser. RowePaint.com is staying on as an advertiser, just at a little bit of a lower rate, I guess you could call it, or deal. And so they will no longer be the title sponsor. Their logo in the upper left corner of the screen will be going away, but they'll still be mentioned on the show. They're still a sponsor. Continue to support RowePaint.com. Love them. Even if they weren't going to be a sponsor, I wouldn't speak negatively about them, but they're staying on as a sponsor. And as I said, thank them for 4 years with BNN and counting by reaching out to RowePaint.com for your painting projects. And if you want to just have a good dude that bleeds blue and will have great work and you'll be happy with the product, Andy Rowe, RowePaint.com is that guy. So they'll still be on board as a sponsor, but after today, they will no longer be the title sponsor. We'll make the next announcement tomorrow. When you watch the intro video tomorrow, which is already done, the new title sponsor will be on that. So just contractually and just the way it works, RowePaint.com is still our title sponsor till the end of the day. So we'll wait to announce the new title sponsor tomorrow. And you've already heard about Element Fencing jumping on board. Element Fencing kind of trades off for Snake River Pool and Spa. And then Signature Roofing is stepping up to a bigger role as well. They're now sponsoring the scoreboard. They're still going to sponsor the voice inbox as well. And so we appreciate Signature Roofing. They're coming on board as a bigger sponsor here moving forward, one of our major sponsors, I would say. And so appreciate, and happy to extend in 2026 with Signature Roofing. Excited to have Element Fencing on board, and excited to, say that all of our other sponsors have re-upped as well. We have the Sun Cruiser Studios. That deal runs through like half of 2026. So if you guys go out and buy some Sun Cruisers and prove, and like I said, post on social media that you're having a Sun Cruiser so I can show the Sun Cruiser folks that their deal's working. Hopefully they'll re-up as well. But excited for them to be on board and see where that goes. ICCU is already committed to a full year in 2026. Jackson's has committed to a full year in 2026. Matt Bauscher has already committed to a full year in 2026. We've got Taco Bell on board. We've got, the Blue and Orange store on board, Ridley's, TCS, all of our great sponsors are remaining on board moving forward in 2026. And so appreciate, all of you guys for supporting these sponsors. Like I said, these we've got 13 people on our payroll. We pay for all the travel, we pay for the equipment. It's not like when I get a check from a sponsor, it just goes right into my pocket. That's not how this works at all. In most cases, it doesn't go into my pocket at all, because we turn around and put it back into the business, including upgrading the equipment. You see the new mic we got earlier this week. So long story short, if you want to keep these shows free of charge of YouTube, some of these ad deals are decent, are good size. This is a lot of money these companies are ponying up to, all things considered, for their marketing budget to allow us to do this. So please go to Taco Bell. Please go buy your gear at the Blue and Orange store. Jackson's, Lithia, ICCU, all of our sponsors I'm telling you about, rowpaint.com. Buy that car at Lithia, and tell the owners, tell them, hey, we appreciate you sponsoring BNN. That's why I'm here at Taco Bell today. Let them know, whether it's on social media by tagging yourself with a photo, whether it's just telling the general manager when you're in there buying something. It really does matter. And so we appreciate all of you guys that do support the sponsors, and we appreciate all of our sponsors that are renewing and continue to be with us here in another year as 2026. So we're excited for 2026. 2025 was a great year. 2026 is going to be our best year at BNN ever. We have some new graphics and things we're going to debut tomorrow. We have a new show intro with some of the new wording for the title sponsor and things like that. So been working hard behind the scenes to get a lot of this done. And like I said, thanks to Snake River Pool and Spa for their time with BNN the last 18 months. Thanks to rowpaint.com for their time as title sponsor. And I'm happy that they're staying on as a sponsor so I can keep telling you about how great that their product is. And I know you guys are going to step up here in 2026 and go support these sponsors. And when you need a new car, I'm confident you're going to, by now to go to Lithia, and you're going to go eat at Taco Bell and support all these sponsors. Please do. Please support the sponsors, folks. I know this is a long-winded kind of thing here, but I just want to let you guys know that these are not, $50 deals or $100 deals. This is real money that these companies are taking out of their sports marketing budget or their budget in general to support BNN and what we're doing here. So please support the sponsors. And we know that when you see a BNN sponsor on here, that's a big deal. And I don't take every sponsor. Like I said, I'm honest with you when I like a product or don't like a product. And if you see a sponsor on here, it's really good people. It's a really good company. It's a BSU supporter, and it's a BNN supporter. And it's a friendship that I have with these folks. And so I hope that you will continue to support the sponsors the best you can here moving forward into 2026. So great year in 2025. Awesome year, and I'm really excited about 2026. We made the move to 24/7 Sports in July. That's been great. As I said, some new sponsorship deals in 2026. So really excited about the year. We are going to have a show tomorrow. Like I said, Johnny Ballgame will join me at 9 a.m. tomorrow to kick off your New Year's, get you ready for the college football playoff. Friday with Mike Prater, I'll be in San Diego, heading to San Diego tomorrow afternoon. We'll be there live Friday morning from the team hotel to get you set for the San Diego State game on Saturday. Rest of the season, thanks to your subscriptions, thanks to your support, Bronco Nation News scheduled to be at every road basketball game and home basketball game for that matter the rest of the season. So you're not going to get this kind of coverage anywhere else. We'll be with the basketball team everywhere they go the rest of the season as they push towards a conference title and push towards trying to compete and get back to the NCAA tournament for the fourth time in 5 years. So thank you guys for a great 2025. Looking forward to a big 2026. Go support the sponsors. Go subscribe. 50% off right now. An annual subscription is just $5 a month at BroncoNationNews.com. Perfect time to jump on board. Nathan Carroll's got some analysis up from the game last night. Chris Van Sickle talked to Cash Herrera. He has not done any interviews since he signed with Boise State. Chris Van Sickle talked to Cash Herrera, and we're going to get that story posted on Monday. So definitely get out and subscribe. $50, I think it is, $55, $60, whatever $5 a month is. I guess that's $60. One-time fee. Get a full year of coverage for 2026. Basketball, football, transfer portal kicks off on Friday. We got our transfer portal tracker. Chris Van Sickle is all over that. So a ton going on. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. We were live till 1:15 in the morning last night or whatever it was, and then we were back live at 9 a.m. So another night in the Mountain West. Great show last night with Tom Moser. You can go follow our new YouTube channel, BroncoNationNews.com/@ Mountain West BNN. YouTube.com/@ Mountain West BNN. Go subscribe to our new channel. Help us out there. And subscribe to this channel if you don't already by clicking that subscribe button right there. Hit that like button as well on the way out so we show up a little higher in some of the algorithms and everything. But I appreciate you guys. There would be no BNN, certainly without our sponsors, but that all comes back to you guys. There would be no BNN. There would be no daily morning show. There would be no live pregame show Saturday night from Viejas Arena in San Diego without you guys watching these shows and commenting on these shows and liking these shows and sharing these shows and subscribing and most importantly, supporting our sponsors. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for a great 2025. I'm excited about a great and exciting 2026 that's ahead and can't do it without you guys. So hope you have a great New Year's Eve tonight. Be safe, be healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to kick off a new year with Bronco Nation News in 2026. So thanks again. Our title sponsor, one last time, rowpaint.com. All your painting needs, hit up rowpaint.com. We are in the Sun Cruiser studios. Again, my name is BJ Rains. Get some Sun Cruisers tonight. Have a fun New Year's Eve. Celebrate the basketball win. Enjoy some football. And we'll talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll have a couple stories going up. Leon Rice, the all-time winningest coach in the Mountain West, at BroncoNationNews.com. Some other stuff throughout the day. Obviously, we'll be tracking the portal news. If anything else pops up, we will have you covered at BroncoNationNews.com. You can go chat in the message boards. There's a free message board. There's a paid message board. A lot of options there. If you want to talk with other Boise State fans 24/7, you can do that, no pun intended, in our message boards at BroncoNationNews.com. So thank you guys so much for supporting BNN. Here's to a great 2026. Go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. Go support the sponsors. And remember, post a video, a photo, tag us on social media of you supporting one of our sponsors, and you'll be entered to win a great prize pack here in 2026. So thank you guys for a great 2025. Love you all. You're my extended family here, and I really do mean that. And if there's anything I can ever do for any of you, please email me, rains@BroncoNationNews.com. Suggestions, criticism, anything at all that I can do to help you guys out. This is your show. This is your company, your channel. This is for the fans, for Bronco Nation News, and I appreciate it. And anything you want to see, anything personally I can do for you, would love to help you guys out. And appreciate you. Been a fun year. Looking forward to 2026. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe tonight, and we'll talk to you 9 a.m. tomorrow with Johnny Ballgame, new title sponsor, a new era of Bronco Nation News starting tomorrow morning, and we'll have you covered. Bronco Nation News live for the final time in 2025. BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has his game ready.
Let's go!
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.